Hello everyone, I'm silentdeth, and welcome to Factorio. Version 0.12. It's been a few changes since the last time we did a season of Factorio, so we're going to do another one to take a look at those changes. The mods I'm using for this season are time buttons, which allows us to fast forward segments of the game, and a resource spawner overhaul, which changes how the game places resources. New game. These are the settings we are going to be using. If you are not familiar with Factorio, I will explain these. Terrain segmentation is basically how frequently you change biomes. It has very little effect on the actual gameplay. It's more of a personal preference. I've set it too high. And we have various resources: iron, copper, stone, coal, crude oil, and enemy bases in frequency, size, and richness. Frequency is how many deposits there are. Size is how large on the map, how many tiles those deposits take up. And richness is the density of those deposits, how many resources per tile. I have this set up to have all the resources, except for enemy bases, are very low, so very low frequency. Enemy bases are only low frequency, however, enemy bases, unlike resources, can spread as the game progresses. Size is small for everything but enemy bases. Richness is regular for everything but crude oil. Crude oil is special because you cannot use up a deposit of crude oil. It will start out at a high flow rate and then just drop down to a lower flow rate, but continue producing oil forever and ever. Starting area is somewhat special. It is the area around where you start. There are guaranteed to be no enemies in that area, and it completely ignores all these settings here in terms of resources. It also guarantees that you have all the resources except for crude oil right near you so that you can get off your feet. One of the reasons I am using the resource spawning overhaul mod is because it allows you to change the starting area resources. In vanilla, you get enough resources in your starting area to basically be able to complete the game without ever having to expand. So let's go ahead and generate the map, and I will be back once we have done that. Now then, this is outdated, so we will not be reading that. We have our initial starting area, some iron, coal, stone, a little bit of copper down here. A bit faster, there it is, a little bit of copper down here, and some bad guys right here. A lot of bad guys for our starting area. Since you do not want to watch me run around in circles, I'm going to take a look at the immediate area, which tells us that there's even more bad guys here, and this is actually so large it extends on the other side of this water feature. One single oil thing over there, stone, copper, iron, and coal, which is all the basic resources. So we'll probably end up starting out up here and have to keep an eye on all these bad guys, eventually having to kill them. Biters, which is what these guys are called, the incredibly inventive name of biters and spitters. You can probably guess how they attack. But the way the enemy works in this game is they start out fairly weak, but as the game progresses, they will get stronger and stronger based on three main things. One is the passage of time. Two is the amount of pollution. As we start producing pollution, you'll be able to see it on the map, and if pollution reaches any of these nests, all the biters from that nest will automatically charge towards the source of that pollution, trying to destroy it or anything else they find as a juicy target, such as the player. So we have to continually be attacking any of the biter nests that are going to be near our base. Destroying the biter nest also increases the difficulty of the biters. It is called internally the evolution factor of the biters. So that progresses based on time, pollution level, and how many biter nests you have destroyed. These little ones here are pretty weak, only health 15. The more advanced ones have hundreds of hit points and are basically immune to anything but explosives and tank rounds. This nest being so close to where our resources are going to be is going to cause some problems for us, so we'll have to make sure that we get these taken care of as quickly as possible. There's also a day and night cycle for this game, and solar power, which affects that. It also helps produce less pollution. So a few things we need to get started with. We start out with a little bit of iron, a burner mining drill, and a stone furnace. We don't want to build any more of these burner mining drills because they cannot be upgraded to anything else in the future. So what we're just going to do, I'm going to plop that down, cut down a couple of trees, some wood, a little bit loud. Drop this down a tiny bit. Then we'll grab some of this. A little bit louder than I would like. Okay, that should be enough to get us started. Okay, that sounds better. Then we'll produce a wooden chest. We can always burn these for fuel later. And while that is going, we're going to go get some more stone over here. The entire purpose of this game is to build up a sort of industrial base to support some colonists that will arrive later. New in this particular version of the game, they've started improving the end game. So that now we have to launch a type of satellite out into orbit that will apparently be used to talk to these colonists that are coming, which is the first revision they've done towards the in-game content. Eventually you'll be able to build like entire orbital industry and launch all kinds of stuff into space, and I think there's even some kind of like feeding and taking care of colonists that are going to be presumably in orbit doing stuff or whatever, but that is not yet in this version of the game. They said they're going to add some more new in-game stuff in the next version of the game, which who knows when that'll be. Okay, so we've got a little bit of fuel and stuff. we will get rid of our chest. We're going to replace it with our stone furnace. You can see this little arrow is pointing towards the stone furnace. We'll give it some fuel. We'll give you some stuff, and we'll get some more coal. And already you can see this little red area or pinkish area here is our pollution area. So we're getting very, very close to aggroing these guys. And we probably will not survive if we do so. So we want to start moving our industrial center further away if we can, as quickly as possible. Now that we got some basics taken care of, we want to get some research going, so we can press T to get new research. Obviously, we're going to want the military right away, so turrets, we need 10 science packs. And those take copper and an iron gear, a total of 2 iron plates and 1 copper plate per science pack. Still quite a ways off from being able to do that, because we also need to build one of these and have power before we can do anything else. So our first steps are going to be getting some power up and running, while we let that do whatever it does. I guess we can mine a little bit. Some more coal going. Get about 10 units of coal, I think. If we look at these, we can see how much pollution they're producing. So this produces 10. This produces 1.8. So this is our major pollution producer here. If we look at the electric things, it doesn't tell me how much pollution it's producing, but I'm fairly certain they produce far less pollution. But it requires these to run, and these to run, which both produce a fair amount of pollution. However, we can build those further away and hopefully have, in the end, less pollution overall. Now then, we need some copper. So we're going to build another one of these. Get some more copper. About 10 units should be a nice start. Keep an eye on our pollution. Trees remove pollution, and pollution dissipates over distance. So having a forest right here is helpful for us. And we'll come way over here, away from the nest, to build another one of those. Which we now need some more coal for. Go ahead and grab what iron we produced so far. Get, I don't know, 10 units of coal should be enough to start out with. Okay. We're going to want a steam engine, a cooler, a water pump, which we can't produce yet. Go ahead and make a couple more of those. Looks like that's all we can do right now. I guess we're going to want one of those, and maybe a couple of these. We will build our power thing going out in this direction. Keep it away from those guys, and then after we kill the guys down below, they will no longer be a problem. Now produce our water pump. We want to leave enough room here so that we can have 2 rows going side by side, and these are rather large. I like to have these exactly that far out, which I believe works out to 10 tiles. And then put the buller here, put that there, and we'll give us, say, 1 more. So now we have our first step in producing power, but you just don't have any fuel for our boiler or any power connection for the power to be transmitted. So we'll need some more wood, some more copper, build some power poles now. We'll get some more iron here. And I think we may want to let that just finish what it's doing. And hopefully the pollution will dissipate a little bit, and we'll move this somewhere else. Let's see what we need. And now we need another 4.5 units of copper. Probably actually a little bit more than that. We'll go up to another 10 units. There we go. Now our primary goal is going to be getting this self-sufficient, getting our power supply self-sufficient. Over some of that. We'll take a little bit of the coal from here. As long as we're not using very much power, a single boiler should be enough. We'll go ahead and build another one. There we go. And we'll start doing the power. If we wait until we get just close enough that those connect and we hold down the left mouse button, they will automatically place at their maximum distance. And that should give us power here. We've gotten a little bit more iron. Still cannot build one of the electric mining drills yet. Should have enough here though. There we go. Can now build 2 of those. And we're going to want to use the rest of our iron to build transport belts. And we'll probably start working on a combination of both. No, we need it to be one thing. So let's just make sure this lines up well. I guess that'll work. Then we'll put that down there. And this is producing 9 pollution compared to the 10 of the other one. And we also need some coal. Let's make that go up. Just right by that. There we go. Now then, that wants some power. Put that there. Let that start smelting. Cut down some trees. Okay, what do we need for that? We need just one more power pole. Oh wait, you're not supposed to be producing iron. We want you to be just just coal. There you go. Much better. And now we can just grab this manually and carry it around for now. Okay. Let's go ahead and smelt those 3. Looks like we're out of fuel for that one. That'll keep those guys busy for a little bit longer. Thank you. Now I also want to get some copper smelting here soon. But we need more iron for that first. And that is going to take a little bit of time. What we can do is take this guy, plop him there, plop you there, grab the coal that we're producing, put half of it here, and the other half there. And that should give us a little bit of stuff for now. And you are apparently out of that. So we need some more copper. Thank you. We'll build a couple of these inserters, which takes stuff and puts it into other stuff. Like that. That way we don't have to keep manually doing things. And we really want to get some military stuff going. So how much do we need for that? Two, 20, and 10. I think we'll immediately start producing or start trying to work towards that goal. We have enough copper. The rest of it is going to have to wait for a moment. That's 6. Because I'm really concerned about us aggroing those guys. I think we'll probably want to go ahead and build another one of these sometime in the near future. So we've built 6, so that's 9. We only need one more. And we'll also need one of these, which is rather expensive. Let's grab some of this coal and run it up. Make sure these guys have enough. Looks like we were just in time for that. Okay. Things up a little bit. Still got a ways to go there. Getting plenty of copper though. You can see that this is producing faster than this is smelting. We really need a couple of these for that. But one thing at a time. Needed 36. Let's just speed things up really fast. There we are, 36. Build that. Start walking it this way. So we're going to put it way up here, near our relatively safe area. Speed that up, let it craft. There we go. Plop you down here, give you these. Now the next thing we're going to need is to actually build the turrets, which I imagine require quite a bit of iron. And I guess we can go ahead and start moving this up a little bit more. May want to go and follow along the power poles as we get more. We'll use this to start producing more ammo for our upcoming turrets. And I think it actually might be a good idea to set up something so that we can have 2 of those. I think we could probably pull that off fairly easily. Just wait until we get a little bit more. Still not done on the turrets. Now then, we already have 1 inserter. So if we put that, say, right there, and we put something like that there, and then let's get rid of that. Go ahead and put this iron there. That iron there. Still not done on that. Almost. There we go. Improved military would be good, but I think defenses are going to be what we go with next. And now then, we'll take this and we'll just run that right along like that. Which means it's like we're going to need 1 more power pole. Okay, we already have 1 made. Good. And at least 2 more inserters. We'll move the power pole right there. Do that. You have that. And a couple more inserters. There. Can I move you down 1 without breaking the connection? No. What about there? That'll work. Now then, we have 2 guys producing iron. And we need copper for that. And 20 iron plates. Grab some of the coal produced. Fill up these 2 guys. Man, that is expensive. 40 iron plates, actually, all told. And we'll use the rest to produce ammo. And not a moment too soon. It was probably that second furnace thing. We'll put these guys right about there. We'll give it all of our ammo. We'll make some more for ourselves here in a moment. Like now. Before I forget. And our time for this episode is up. So like if you like. Subscribe if you're not. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.